Shalom. All praises to Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, bahasham, Racha, Quadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well and labor in the word and doctrine. Shalom. And in peace may that be unto the elect. I just want to go into Isaiah 14, specifically the 4th verse, and link it to the 12th. Right, because it seems that in so-called Christianity, and excuse the helicopter in the background, but in so-called Christianity, this is often used to say, see, that Lucifer means Satan. Now, all Satan means is an adversary, right? So again, or an enemy. So you have a spiritual demon, Satan, and of course you have them that are in the flesh, that are adverse unto causes or certain literal nations. So Isaiah 14, and we'll actually start at 12, but then we'll backtrack to 4 to prove it. Isaiah 14 and 12, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning, how art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations. Now, in fact, we'll go into the words. Whereas this word for Lucifer is halal, or hayalal. It's from halal. Etymologically it says here. It says Lucifer equals light bearer, shining one morning star, Lucifer, of the king of Babylon, and Satan, figuratively. So it's only got one use. And it says that there, one. And it's the scripture, of course, that we just looked at. So where do you get king of Babylon and Satan? Now if you're saying king of Babylon is an adversary, he's a shaitan, a Satan, then fair. But it's not talking about the spiritual demon Satan. So it says twat. I'm not sure what that means. Sounds like an insult. It says halal, describing the king of Babylon. Just move it off there. So you see, one does say Satan on there, but let's see if that can be found. So we're in Isaiah 14 and 12. So go up to Isaiah 14 and 4. It says that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon. And let's look at this word here. Right, Malak Babal. So the king. Malak. There it says king. And it's all there. King 2,518 times, royal twice, Hamalek once, Malcham once, Moloch once. And Babal, obviously mixture, confusion, Babylon. There's Babel or Babylon confusion in brackets by mixing. Like you might get on the Blue Letter Bible. It'll go this, how many times, this, how many times, and then it'll say misk, how many times. It goes into miscellaneous, meaning by mixture, like mixgination or misgination, same root. So Babal or Babylon confusion brackets by mixing. Babal or Babylon, the ancient site and or capital of Babylonian modern Hilla, situated on the Euphrates. Now, not every time you read in these scriptures of Babylon is it talking about ancient Babylon. So it says Psalm 137 verses 7 and 8. Remember, O Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, the children of Edom, in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof. O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed. Happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us. Right, so the children of Edom, the daughter of Babylon, they linked up. Not only did they deal with the destruction of the Israelites, but the new mystery Babylon, that whole is ruled over by Edomites, like it says in the Apocrypha. Second Ezra 6 and 9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. And then Daniel 2, Daniel 7, is outlined 4 major rulerships that would have to take place before the coming of Yahawashi to rule and reign upon this earth and change the children of Israel. Like it says, we shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed. So Isaiah 14, go back to 12. How art thou fallen from heaven? Let's look at that word heaven. Shamayim. It says heaven, heavens, sky, visible heavens, sky, as abode of the stars, as the visible universe, the sky, atmosphere, etc. Heaven as the abode of power. In the same way, it says, we'll keep reading. It says, for thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven, I will exalt my throne above the stars of power, I will also sit upon the mount of the congregation and in the sides of the north, I will ascend above the heights of the clouds, I will be like the Most High. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. Alright, so the word for hell first is Yahawah. It says Sheol, underworld, grave, hell, pit, the underworld. Now, in the scripts, there's not really anywhere you can go to get the idea of an underworld, apart from misunderstanding in the prophecy of the bottomless pit, Revelation the 20th chapter. But we'll get into the word pit as well, Lord willing. So it says the underworld, Sheol in the OT, meaning Old Testament designation for the abode of the dead. Place of no return. Without praise, it's like it. I like it. Without praise of power, wicked sent there for punishment, righteous not abandoned to it, of the place of exile, figuratively, of extreme degradation in sin. It says grave 31 times, hell 31, pit 3 times. It says to the sides of the pit, it says to the bawah, it says pit, well, cistern. Now going back to 2nd Ezra again. 2nd Ezra 5 and 24, and of all lands of the whole world thou hast chosen thee one pit, and of all the flowers thereof one lily. Right, so of all the lands of the whole world thou hast chosen one pit, meaning what pit and land in this context are synonymous. And of all the flowers thereof one lily. So obviously lily is a flower. So of all the flowers in the world they've been chosen one, and that is the lily. Of all the worlds or the lands in the whole world there's been chosen one, and that is the land of Jerusalem. I think it's 2nd Maccabees 5. There is 2nd Maccabees 5 and 17. No, not 17. 19. Nevertheless, power, Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, did not choose the people for the place's sake, but the place for the people's sake. And what place was it? And what place was it? It's talking about the land of Jerusalem, which is that chosen pit. That shows you, pit can be referred to as a land. So it says, For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven, I will exalt my throne above the stars of power. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. And we'll pause there, because that's the same thing that is said of the man of sin. 2 Thessalonians 2. 2 Thessalonians 2 and 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first. Just real briefly. Falling away. Apostasy. I'm sure you get the term apostate. That's used of at least in the English-speaking world, and I've often heard it used in the context of Islam. You know, you have apostate, and obviously apo, mean away from, and then stasia would be meaning to stand still, I think, or stand firm. I can't actually find stasia there. Can't find a station. Is that it? So, yeah, there is. See? So falling away from this, from standing firm. Well, that was actually just coming away from that chosen pit. Right, so that happened in 70 AD. And obviously it's a physical falling away. But from there, all the spiritual, you know, keeping the culture, the language, specifically, you know, the ways, the commandments, like it says in Sirach 17, 10 and 11. Sirach 17, 10 and 11, and the elect shall praise his holy name. Verse 11, beside this he gave them knowledge and the law of life for an heritage. So that the primary use of heritage is referring to land. You know, clearly, the law of life is also a heritage. So let no man deceive you by any means, for that falling away shall not come except there come a falling. Sorry. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called power, or that is worshipped, so that he as power sitteth in the temple of power, shewing himself that he is power. Now, if this was said of, you know, the king of Babylon, and that's supposedly the spiritual demon Satan, then who's this man of sin? Which links us nicely back to Isaiah 14 to go. Right, so Isaiah 14 and 12, how thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, the son of the morning, how art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations. However, again, it was said of a man. Right, so this is Isaiah 14 and 4, that thou should take up this proverb against the king of Babylon, and say, how hath the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased. Yahawah hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. Right, so this is the king of Babylon, the king of Babylon, which is a man. It says, verse 6, he who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, either all the nations in anger is persecuted and none hindereth. So he's set low and none is stopping that, us causing that to cease. Verse 7, the whole earth is at rest and is quiet, they break forth into singing. Yea, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, and the feller is come up against us, deforestation. Verse 9, again this word, or the use of this word hell, we'll just check what it is. Same word there, Yahawah. So it says, yeah, verse 9, hell from beneath is moved for thee, to meet thee at thy coming. It stirred up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth are raised up from their thrones, all the kings of the nations. All the kings of the nations. Verse 10, all they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? So it's talking about a ruling nation, you know, dumb, the dumb Are they, is he rather like unto them now? Is he weak? Is he rather, obviously sometimes he is referred to as the sons of men. You have three classes, the sons of power, you know, the sons of God, the sons of the wicked, and the sons of men. So really it's about two nations, Jacob and Esau. That's what this whole, it's a chlorum on a carnal level. Don't say it's carnal, on a spiritual level. We're dealing with nationalities, they're the main two. But the point is, that he's talking about a singular man, a man, and that's the proverb against him, and not the spiritual demon Satan, but maybe the physical adversary. So I pray that was edifying. Until the next one, Lord willing. Ka halal Yahawah, bahasham Yahawashi, bahasham Kodash.